I'm going to pull up what I sent out yesterday so I stay on track myself. This week is week 6. We're starting tomorrow. And that is Triumph. So a big, meaningful focus for the week. How are you guys feeling about this week 5? So really, I could say, oh, it was on purpose. So you guys would know what it was like to just have the book, like most people usually do. But what came up for you guys this week?
I mean, for me, I followed along with the book. It wasn't terribly hard. The 75-minute yoga flow is definitely a little bit more than what I'm used to, because I'm, definitely used to the hour.
Yeah.
But putting that extra 15 minutes in was a little challenging. I have to admit, some days I did not do that extra 15 minutes.
Yeah.
The meditation for me, though, this week actually activated my desire to want to meditate at night, which I normally, used to not do. So I actually made, making the time actually made me feel like if I laid down in bed and I hadn't done my meditation, I was like, wow, I feel like I really need to go meditate right now. So then I would go do it and I felt a lot better. So.
Nice.
And Renee, I wanted to say thank you for doing the video.
Oh,
I appreciated that. Yes. Yeah, really good form.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Yeah. Yeah, Michelle, this week was all over the place with me. I wasn't feeling well, and plus Christmas preparations, but I did stick to Kat. So I think I did my highlight a little early, but this week I felt like I had a breakthrough. I was reading somewhere that when we're setting new intentions for ourselves, meaning creating boundaries sometimes for ourselves.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that we can create a new boundary, but it leaves a void. And so we have to replace it with something. And I remember my commitment was no negative self-talk. And then I realized I may no longer speak negatively about myself, even to myself, but I should replace that negative self-talk with positive self-talk that's rooted in truth. And like, this is probably the best week that I felt just overall.
Oh, good. Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Jamaica.
I love
Thank you. I mean, it seems so easy, but like, just by having less noise in your life, you can, hear that,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate you like bringing that up, because that's true. Like, as we remove things from our life, we always have to envision, imagine, or declare like what we're going to fill that space with. And it makes me think of like the moon ceremonies with cacao that I do with Renee sometimes, and Stephanie, are one of our mentors from Hawaii. And anytime we want to offer up, like, I want to get rid of, and then it was always, okay, what are you going to fill that with? And so thank you for bringing that up. That's something like very important to continue as you grow beyond 40 days. Like, you'll keep thinking about these things, and that's one thing to always remember to do. Like, don't leave a void for yourself.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. And then the laws that we focused on last week were don't rush the process and be true to yourself. I feel like those like smacked me in the face. The don't rush the process thing. I like wanted everything to be done with all my moving. And I think that's what kind of burnt me out when I was doing it all on my own and like not asking for help. And so I think I hurt myself by rushing the process. So kind of going backwards on what we were supposed to be focusing on, trying to do differently. So
thank you for sharing that, Michelle. And
yeah,
last night I was cooking Christmas dinner, and like, you get anxious to want to get it done. And it was a recipe that really required my my time and focus. And it was like, just give myself the time to get it right. And I did, so.
Good. Was it wonderful? Was it everything you imagined?
Oh yeah, I'll put a picture in the group with it. It was
Okay.
Cornish hens. They were good.
Oh, wow. That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Thank you.
Anything else come up through the reading or the excavation questions from week 5? I'm actually going to grab my book really quick. All right. So we had, I feel like week 5 didn't, yeah, it was just 3, but they had lots of layers to them. I did not do them yet, so I'm reading through them now, but I'm happy to like dive into it.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I got a little dependent on the units coming out, so I can do them today definitely and send you my questions, Michelle.
Okay.
So just want to be honest about them.
Thank you. Yeah. Renee, do you have something?
I mean, I got them done and I did them, last Sunday when I went through everything.
Okay.
And it's like the first one is how much I believe in myself and how much does this play out in my everyday life. So I feel like that has kind of been like the theme of this year for myself. Really surrendering to like who I am. So this one spoke a lot to me. And trusting my own intuition versus like looking around and comparing myself to other people in my life and seeing what others are doing. And, should I be following that path or this path? And like really just stepping back and like looking inward, going along with, the law of don't rush the process, because it's like, know I'm on the path that I'm supposed to be on for a reason. And I even did like a post about this, but looking back at my last year, it's like, wow, I have grown so much to where I am now. And like everything that I went through brought me to where I am. And I know that there's something better, like not better, but like something coming into my life that is meant to be there. And so just kind of surrendering to that more. And even so with like the possibility of moving and all that good stuff, like it's so exciting, but at the same time I'm surrendering back and saying, okay, like I know what's going to happen is going to happen, and I trust, and I'm letting it go instead of just harping on it and focusing on it and all that stuff. So it's all coming. I just know that.
I do remember reading through the questions, just not going through and taking the time to respond. But the third one, like, I feel like I'm very in every single detail of my day. Like I can recite my entire day from the beginning to the end with who I talked to or who I walked by and what they wore. Like I do notice everything and I observe all the things. So I feel like with that, yes, but then the groundedness, like when I'm with my family, I do not feel grounded. But when I'm by myself or when I'm with David, I do. And I'm still trying to understand why. And part of me also feels like there's like maybe some underlying anxiety or stress that comes with the holidays that I did, like I made myself sick through it. Like I don't know though, but like if it's just like this old cycle of like here's what I feel during Christmas time and holidays, but that was pointed out to me by David. He was like, do you think that maybe you have these things that you don't think about, but they're like always present when you have to go see your family or when you're gonna go do this and that? Because it was similar during Thanksgiving. Like I didn't yeah, I just get a little bit of anxiety, and it's been happening the last like 3 or 4 years, and maybe I tried to mask the anxiety, and then I just got sick through it. I don't know, for not being true to myself.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Okay. Well, this week, again, the theme is triumph, and no matter where we're at, no matter how week 5 went, no matter how today goes, tomorrow is the beginning of another week, and we have the choice and ability to make that what we want it to be, and to be the person that we want to be as we move forward through it. So I was listening to, I don't remember what it was. Oh, it was one of it was a podcast that I listened to, and it said, you know, what's happening today is just like a moment in your life, but it's not who you are. You can choose to be somebody different with your next breath or with your next day.
Mm-hmm.
So just keeping that in mind as we move forward, no matter how we successfully abstained or stayed committed to all of our declarations and all of that, we want to honor ourselves and our ability to like just end strongly.
Yes.
And before I keep talking about that, we didn't do our check-ins, so I will do that now. My name is Michelle. I am feeling stuffy, tired, hopeful, but weak. And my highlight of this week was actually getting big furniture up my stairs all by myself, feeling like little Hulk over here. And then my low light, funny, whereas I think it was last week or the week before I couldn't think of one. This week I'm like, which of all of them should I choose? And I feel like the right one to pick is just breaking down yesterday and failing my phase 1 and restarting today. So starting again for another 30 days of cold showers and all that fun stuff that goes along with my phase 1. But that's fine, just building character. So, Jamerica.
Thank you, Michelle. Hi, everyone. I'm Jamerica. Today, I'm feeling tired. I would say optimistic, a little anxious, and I would say more settled. Low light of this week. I would say I just felt really disorganized. Overall, just like I said, trying to do everything from the challenge to getting ready for Christmas. I was a little perturbed at myself because I left 10 people off my list, but I would say a highlight of my week is just really letting go. And I just saw myself kind of doing that, like, you know what? I could still order what I needed for the cards and get those out. And then last night I was watching Wonder Woman with my husband, and instead of like running through the grocery list or what needed to be done, I just allowed myself to just let go and really just be present. And that was a really nice feeling. So, yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good.
Love that, Jamerica. Thank you for sharing. So for me, I'm feeling right now, joyful and optimistic. At the same time, reflective and a little sad. Yeah, and then my highlight this week. So the holidays are very hard for me as well, Michelle. And even my mom has been asking me like how I'm doing this month, because it's always been a hard month. And especially today, my dad passed away 9 years ago today. So it's like a very reflective day for me. But I would say the highlight this week, amongst like all the feelings that have been going on, I've been able to keep a very like balanced, neutral state, almost a little bit more joyful than years past for sure. I definitely put that into doing a lot of the work this year for sure. I grew a lot and have been able to see that lately. And The low light this week. It's like this week has been, I don't know, it's been a week, and I can't say that I've had any bad places. Like it's more just been a week of reflection. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Renee. Yeah, I appreciate both of you guys for just always showing up. I want to keep saying that. So as you guys go forward through this really short week, we have the 2 laws that we're focusing on are be still and know, and then understand that the whole is the goal. And we'll see what that means when we finish the reading. So I do encourage you guys to read today or tomorrow, if you have time, just to like get that done ahead of time so we can move forward with these like very few days, really reflecting on that. Think about what you've learned about yourself. I think we've all learned a lot. What was challenging or empowering? What did you give most resistance to? Where was the biggest breakthrough? Be aware of what comes up naturally without trying, without force. And then just invite ideas and inspiration and light, and see how inviting the concepts can be for the clarity and the vision, especially as we move forward. So it's really cool that we're ending these 40 days on the last day of the year and starting a new year. And know that you can do whatever you wish afterwards, right? So it's not like we've talked about the, acknowledging where we've faulted, we've recommitted, we've continued to support each other. And obviously we know by now that this isn't like a pass fail. It's not like, oh, I did it successfully, or, oh, I was unsuccessful. Like just trying and committing and doing what you can is already something more than what you would have done if you didn't pick up the book. So just know that like you're still learning no matter how much or little, and you can still learn more. Like I said, I've done this. This is my 4th time doing it, and I continue to learn about myself every single time. So think about the awesome things that you've created for yourself in your life. Any more things that you ever want to change, just know that you have more tools in your tool belt to help you with that. And if anyone feels like they 100% completed the program and like didn't fault on anything, I definitely want to know, and I would love for you to like share that with people. Also invite you to try it again when we start on the 2nd for the next round. If anybody wants to do that, like I said last time, you're more than welcome to, and I'm happy to have you as like a helper or a seed of to speak during these classes, during these meetings. I'm looking at my notes here. So we're done on Thursday, that end of that day. What do you guys feel? Are you guys all able to meet like in the morning that day or during a specific time of day? I know it's the 31st, so I want to be mindful that people might be preparing stuff, but I also want to offer just one final meeting and us to celebrate. And normally this would be like in person, and we would have like a potluck that's cats friendly. But this is different, so it's really, we have the mind space to have another Zoom call on Thursday. Do you guys want that?
I could meet Thursday morning. That wouldn't be an issue for me.
Okay. Renee?
Sorry, my dog is going crazy. It depends on what time Thursday, because I do have to work.
Okay. What time do you work?
So I go into the office, I'll probably go in around 11 that day.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, if it's maybe a shorter meeting, I could put it into the.
Yeah. So if it's at this time on Thursday, are you leaving at this time for work?
I would be leaving like shortly after, or like around 10:45ish.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So if it was like a 30-minute meeting, I could do that. I could fit that in for sure.
Are you okay with that then at 9 a.m. Jamaica, our time?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I'm just going to edit that. Thursday time. 9 a.m. Oops. Okay. Oops. I don't know how to work my new keyboard yet. Okay. And then, so at that meeting, we'll talk about what life beyond this 40 days is going to be like for us. But you can start thinking about it now.
Okay.
It's, you know, just examples that I have in that same document is, you know, an example could be, I will commit to practicing yoga 3 times a week. I will commit to stay off caffeine and sugar. I will commit to having no alcohol except for at midnight. I will meditate at least 15 minutes a day, every day. You know, it doesn't have to be go through the whole cycle again. It doesn't have to be the extreme max amount. It's like, what fits in your life? What do you want to keep with you? And if you don't want to do any of it, that's fine too. So just start thinking about that. And there's not, since it's a short day, there isn't a rule that says like having a rest day or not, or short week. So you can decide if you want to incorporate your rest day or not, but just try to use your best judgment and be humble and true to yourself as you decide what the rest of your days are going to be like this week. What's going to make you feel triumphant, really? So be sure to read that chapter 6 or the week 6, the final 2 laws, and basically we're done with the book at that time. We'll get those excavation questions done. There will be short sharing during our meeting, and then our meditation bumps up to 30 minutes. Oh, I just closed something, sorry. And I deleted a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. Our meditation goes up to 30 minutes. Yoga practice is an hour and a half. I'm not going to be upset if you guys just do an hour, right? An hour and a half is a very long class, and usually it's easier when you go to a class for that. So I would just focus on learning the new poses that we have. A lot of them we've actually done. If you've taken my other classes, there's like a deep lunge, which is like crescent lunge, and you put your knee down and you're leaning as far forward, knee above the ankle. And that looks like the only new, yeah, that looks like the only new one. So that's kind of cool. We have, I'm looking at the amount of, we have 46 poses, so that's a full class. So do your best to like review all of the poses. I might still go back and do a tutorial for week 5 poses, the new ones that were introduced, just to make sure we have a documentation of having broken those down, especially headstand. I would recommend only doing that if you feel comfortable with it. Otherwise, wait till you can be in person with an instructor. So yeah, I'm okay if you guys do a 1-hour class and just try to incorporate all of the poses. Our balancing diet for this week, it's just to look back at all the past 5 weeks and ask yourself, which of the new habits did I benefit the most from? What do you want to incorporate into your lifelong eating habits moving forward? So just the same thing. This is all about like looking back at everything. What serves you the best? What is going to be most supportive for your life? And then in the meditation, it's also pretty short. It's still the same thing, bringing awareness. It says ultimately your meditative awareness will become so natural to you that this state of being will become a way of life. And it's funny because when I'm by myself, I feel like I'm just like constantly in that meditative state. And when I go deep, I get so much done because I don't let things distract me, but I'm aware of everything that has to happen, and I like am able to just move smoothly. And a lot of times before reading stuff like this, I would, tell my friends that I feel like I'm always meditating. I just always feel like I am, but it's mostly having that awareness and like that peace and the openness, I guess, in my heart to let anything be and not be in the moment, except sick. I can't handle it. That's okay. We'll have to go back and unblock that. So yeah, just really be kind to yourself. Don't forget to do those excavations. There are 4 here, but they're really great. You're going to be able to think about what you want to manifest about, or what you want to manifest in your life, what you can do in your life if you wouldn't fail. What are the limiting beliefs that are preventing you from doing what you wrote in question 2? And then what's your overall life vision? This is probably my favorite chapter of excavation questions. That these are questions that I love, because I used to ask myself November, December of every year. And I would say, what's something that you didn't do this year that you wish you could have? And then what was standing in your way? And how can you eliminate that so you can try again next year? Or set yourself up so that you can do it next year. That's how I became a yoga teacher. That's how I lost the weight from, the heaviest of my life to the most healthy of my life. So there's a lot to say in these types of questions and how you move forward with them. Do you guys have anything to share? Have you read any of this stuff? Glanced over?
I haven't yet.
Yeah.
No.
Any questions about this week? Concerns?
No. One thing that stuck out, Michelle, that you just said was, what's one thing I wish I could do this year that I didn't get to do? I really like that. I'm going to think about that one.
I like that too.
And I mentioned this, I think last week or the week before, like I think about what's something that I don't want to like trail into the new year. And like, can I sever that? Can I cut that off? Yeah, I think I shared, maybe, I don't know when I talked to my family, but I told everyone finally about my living situation. And my mother is not happy. And my dad is like being as cool as he can be, even though I can tell like part of him is like, oh, my baby. Baby's almost 40. My sister's like offended because she doesn't know him. Like, you don't have to live with him. I do. So it's okay if you don't know him yet. It's also, we're not trying to rush that process, like that family process. And we've been working on our relationship because it's between us. So that's part of that, setting the boundaries too, Jamerica. Like I let my family know that I do have boundaries that maybe once I didn't have, where before I would introduce them way too soon to boyfriends, they would get excited about them, and then things wouldn't work out, and then everyone would be devastated. So now I didn't tell them that things were going really well, and now I'm moving in with somebody that they don't really realize is as important to me as he is. So like, it's fine, whatever. We're getting over that. I don't know how I went off on that tangent. What were we talking about?
Just you're talking about things we don't want trailing into 2021.
Yes, thank you. I didn't want that, like that unhad conversation. And there's still another one with a friend, but I don't think I've given her like 3 chances to set up time to meet with me. And that just no response is also a response.
Yes.
And so I'm trying to just say, okay, and like, let it be what it isn't. And it's not like it's not like I didn't try.
Yes.
I'm also not going to beg. So,
and Michelle, that makes me think of what you said last week about conversations we need to have with people. And sometimes it's not possible because people choose not to respond, but yet that is a response. And that was also another breakthrough for me, where I realized, we can't control what happens in life sometimes. One thing that I really wanted to do was go on a honeymoon with my husband, but we couldn't
Mhm.
because of COVID. And it's like, we've just been taking every day to grow closer. But I know that having that ritual is really important. And we'll get there one day, and I know we'll enjoy it that much more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm. Renee, any final thoughts?
Yeah, just, be gentle with ourselves as we continue into the last week, and, really take time to look back and reflect on what we've learned, and to know that doing the internal work is an ever-growing process that we'll never have done, and just to accept, everything that comes along and just be grateful. So,
Yeah, thank you.
mhm.
Well, let's do our final recommitments then. Woo woo. Okay, my name is Michelle, and I commit to abstaining from caffeine, alcohol, tobacco, and sugar, added sugars. And I will continue, because I've been doing this, to have an empty sink when I go to bed. And I will also work better on my time management and making sure that I support my peers as much as I can during these last 5 days. And Jamerica.
Thank you, Michelle. I'm Jamerica, and I'm committing again to no cats, continuing to replace negative self-talk with positive self-talk that's rooted in reality, and really just giving this last week my all.
Thank you, Jamerica.
Beautiful, Jamaica. I am Renee. I am recommitting to no caffeine, no alcohol, no tobacco, no sugar, with an emphasis on the sugar part this week. And I am going to really commit making the time to do my yoga or my meditation in the evenings again, because I'm really noticing a difference with that and enjoy it. To continue with the less self-negative talk, or no self-negative talk, and again replacing that with positive. I loved what you said, Jamerica. And to just allow life to be, kind of surrender more so, and just really do some reflecting this week too, on the new year. And I know that we can do it at any time, but the new year is always a fun time to reflect on the year last and what's to come. So
yeah, is there a new moon or a full moon? New moon.
Yeah, the full moon is, I think it's on the 30th.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we're
on
ending the
eve
year
of
with
our
a
final
full.
day.
Yeah.
So use that to your power too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you guys so much again for being consistent, for being present, and for being a part of this. I've enjoyed watching both of you actually grow through this, and I appreciate everything you've been able to share and contribute to the group. I hope I know I'll see you guys on Thursday. I hope everyone else shows up too, no matter what. So if you're watching, you guys, we want to celebrate with you, no matter how you ended and how you started and how it was in between. We started as a group. I would love to end with everyone present. So if you're available, join us at 9 a.m. on Thursday, Pacific Standard Time. All right, thanks everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day after Christmas and the rest of your weekend. Don't work too hard, stay warm, stay healthy.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Have a good week, you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.